What is going on, boys? Finally back here with another gameplay video for EX4, but this time streaming, or rather recording, a little bit of some fun matches for you. My good buddy Austin over here on the right is going to be playing Mervamon, kind of Minerva loop. You already know the degenerate deck that kind of just does a bunch of crazy stuff, summons guys from trash, gains a ton of memory, but this time also incorporating a Merva package to be able to put out a bunch of really cool retail blockers during your turn, and then kind of control the board from there. I'm playing red hybrid, so just a monkey brain deck. You see I open pretty solid here, and my opponent, to his dismay, is going to swing with the Eismon. It is not going to die, so the Eismon's going to be chilling there, and I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to keep it alive, but I'm just going to do something that's probably not at all practical, but really funny. Like, I thought, why not? Like, let's just make a 10,000 Flamemon checking 4. Unfortunately, going to die to a Lilith. But just like that, turn 2, my opponent is left with 1 security. Probably didn't expect that. I'm at like 3 cards in hand. I don't care. That was pretty hilarious. So now I'm just going to go ahead and put my opponent to 3. And so he's going to go ahead and take another swing with the Eismon, and yet it is not going to die once more. It's pretty unlucky. In any other scenario or other deck, this would be really nice. You know, your level 4 living is pretty cool. But Eismon, unfortunately, drawing 3 cards, rather 4, cycling 4 with the Mervamon as well, is something you really want to do, especially in this deck, because you need to see your Mervamons, and you need to set up your trash with retaliation targets to kind of bring back. So we are going to see a pretty early Mervamon here, Digicrossing with the Ignite to make it a 8 cost, and Ignite gaining you back a memory, making it effectively cost 7, putting me to 5, and then playing back the Lizardmon, Flare Lizardmon, Dark Lizardmon, something like that. The card will be on screen, but basically, Mervamon gives all of your Retaliators and Crosshearts blocker. So my opponent currently does have 2 blocker. At most, I have 2 swings here. But I was kind of digging for the Emperor Greymon. If I had an Emperor Greymon, I could have warped to be able to delete the Mervamon, but I also didn't have 5 hybrids in trash, hence because I kind of wasted a bunch of memory just using Atomic Inferno. And I'm just going to pass turn with a couple of Agunimons, not really being able to do anything, and with my opponent having 5 Digimon in play, my only saving grace is something like a Crimson Blaze in security. That would pretty much clear the board, aside from Mervamon. But big spoiler, I don't play that card because this is just a deck that's all gas and no defense, basically. So my opponent is just going to be able to clear it up and take the game. Jack Raid in security is pretty nice as well. So game number 2, we're going to go ahead and try again. I'm going to go ahead and go first, hatching the Yokomon, of course, really powerful egg there, and then just Digivolving into the Flamemon. That's honestly not the really good stack you want to see. The best stack, I think, turn 1 is BT7 Flamemon plus BT12 Agunimon, because then when you swing the Aguni, you can play out a Takuya, draw a card, and play out a Flamemon, and get the Flamemon's on play effect. Really crazy stuff and a lot of value. So my opponent's going to go ahead and build up to blue Mervamon in the back, going all the way on up to level 5, and I'm going to go ahead and swing, and I do have plus 2000 because of the Flamemon, so I'm not going to die to that scatter mode, or to the regular Eismon, rather, in the security there. So Gunimon's just kind of chilling, but my opponent can definitely swing over him, but he risks me drawing a card and then playing out a Flamemon. Since I do have the Takuya now, I can definitely trigger the Yoko first, and then play out the Flamemon 2, then look at top 3. Searching another Flamemon. Bottom decking Omni is a little bit unfortunate there, but that's okay, because now I still have another body on field. That's the cool thing about a Goonie. Even if your opponent gets rid of them, you're going to be able to play out something, so unless they are able to kill multiple, like, Digimon in the same turn, you're still going to get value, you're still going to be able to chuck them into security, and then play out a Tamer. So we're going to play out another Takuya, putting my opponent 2-3, and then going to go ahead and swing the blue Mervamon into security, putting me with another Takuya is really dangerous, especially because both of the memory setters do have the inherited effect to potentially gain you back to memory. This deck's really crazy because you can kind of get free hybrids, because if you go into something that's 10k, you swing security, you gain back the 2 memory you just paid, you'll evolve into another hybrid, do the same thing, gain back some memory. So our opponent here is going to just go Snake Lady and bringing back a dog. Unfortunately, just giving the rush and blocker to the Mervamon here, but she is suspended, so not going to be able to do anything here. I think I have 3 hybrids in trash, so I think I had the possibility to go, like, if this Flamemon died, I could go into another hybrid, and if that died, I could warp into an Emperor Greymon. Jack Raid is really unfortunate, but that's okay, because we're based and we're playing Gravity Crush, so definitely we'll be able to Gravity Crush. Jack Raid is not the end of it, so we're going to gain back that 2 memory, and then just Digivolve into a Burning Gray, being able to pop the Gabumon here. The unfortunate thing about Burning Gray is that he's not able to give himself a boost like the other Burning Gray, so you do need something like an Atomic Inferno, which I actually do have, to be able to gain back that memory off of the Takuya. So we're going to be able to check 2, gaining 2 memory since we checked security, and then evolving the last Burning Gray to close out the game. So Merva is going to start up for game number 3, and then Digivolving Dog plus Eismon. Not the perfect stack, but, you know, pretty decent still. Being able to cycle 3 cards is definitely not too shabby. Of course, assuming his Eismon is going to die this time. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a little bit of an awkward play and putting my opponent back to 1, just because I think the memory management is really important against this deck. If you give them 1 memory too much, you're going to be susceptible to something like the Mervamon. Obviously not like turn 1, but still very early Mervas can be pretty unfortunate. So Burning Gray here, only 6,000, going to be able to play out a Takuya off of the Flamemon Inherited, and drawing a card, and then just playing out another Flamemon, getting the double hit here. Flamemon plus a Takuya is definitely welcome to my hand. This deck is basically just Flamemon Rush that occasionally goes into like a big hybrid to close out games. Which I'm a fan of. You get to play like 14, 16 rookies. It's just really consistent, and I'm enjoying the deck a lot. Merva is going to go into the Lady Devimon here, cycling 3 cards, discarding a Lucemon Chaos mode, which is a little bit scary. Being able to bring that back off of the other Snake Lady here is something that our opponent can definitely do. Mervamon does have the effect on deletion. I think it's if your opponent has 2 or fewer Digimon in play, you get to play back a purple level 5 or lower, or a Mervamon from trash, so you can potentially bring back like a Lucemon, pop a Tamer, or just bring back like a Merva and like have 3 things with Rush is pretty crazy. Like, I think that's pretty insane as well. So we're just going to go into security and then go Burning Gray, giving ourselves plus 2,000. So with the Takuya Inherited sitting at 10k, can definitely trigger that Inherited effect to gain back the memory. But I think I'm going to go Aldemon here and just playing it a little bit safe for the DP, because now I'm like 16, not going to die to anything basically except for an option card. But at this point I played enough games, I wasn't really scared of anything aside from a Jack Raid, but I'm going to gain back the 2 memory, so I'm not going to pass turn regardless. So I wasn't afraid of anything like a Deathslinger or like a Rivals or whatever. And then we're just going to grab the Emperor Gray plus Takuya. I think I was missing the Emperor Gray there, but I also didn't want to kill the Mervamon. And then Vilemon is actually going to be able to get played back, because during your opponent's turn, when you play a Digimon, you get to bring back something off of Merva. That's, I think, also purple level 4 or lower. So again, still pretty cool stuff. Going to swing security with the Merva. Vilemon, probably just going to chill out there as a blocker. Haven't seen that card in quite a bit, but I can see why it's nice. Sometimes you want a blocker that isn't really bound to Mervamon, because if your opponent outs it with something like an Emperor Greymon, for example, you can still block, and you're not just shit out of luck. So we're going to go Dog in the back with only 5 cards in trash. I'm not expecting any Jack Rays or anything. A Mervamon would be really strong, but it would give me like 7 memory to work with. And now that I've got the Emperor Greymon, I really don't think there is a point. I think that what our opponent could do here is probably just try to kill the Minerva, because I think we see a Deathclaw or a Calling from Darkness in his hand. So that's definitely something he could do, is potentially like Calling from Darkness, pop the Minerva, get back something from trash, maybe like the Blue Mara or something. You usually want the Lucemon or something in trash, and then trigger all of the inherited effects on deletion. So definitely lots of different lines of play we could do. So yeah, we do see the Calling from Darkness finally come down, paying it for 1, and then he was asking me a ruling question actually, since the Lady Devimon does have the inherited effect of when you play an option card, kill level 3 or lower. He's asking me if you could trigger it then, but you actually have to just, when you play an option card, you have to fully just do that option card effect, and then any inheriteds or effects that would trigger as a result of it come out after. This is a more recent thing. Bandai kind of did an official statement on it, where it was like a Viximon thing as well. Like, could you play like an option card draw before you resolve the option card? Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Regardless, we're gonna Calling from Darkness, add back 2 things in the Minerva on deletion, playing back a Merva, and then Merva being able to play back 2 things being able to bring back the Eismon as well as the scatter mode. Now, I do think that was a little bit of a misplay since you have to Digi-Cross, I think, to bring back two things. But I'm pretty sure our friend had an Ignitemon somewhere, but he just forgot to stick it underneath. Regardless, he's going to be able to out my Aldemon. That would also give him a little bit extra memory to be able to go back to 0 and then do one more thing. So it might have changed things a little bit, but I think I'm still in a really bad position. So we are just going to do a hard play Takuya and then Digivolve Emperor on the same stack by using Takuya's effect. Obviously won't be able to attack or anything, and then passing turn with Gravity Crush, giving our opponent 5 is quite a bit just to be able to out the Mervamon here. So Emperor Greymon, still a behemoth of a card, being able to float into multiple tamers is really sick because you can bring back one from trash, and then like you've got the inherited effects. So I think I've got the BT7 Flamemon, maybe an Agunimon as well, to be able to float into another Takuya. So potentially playing back like 2 tamers is pretty sick. And our opponent here deciding on what to do and how to either kill us this turn or being able to potentially put up enough blocks to be able to deal with the Emperor. Because unless I have an Atomic Inferno, he's not really penalized for blocking here. But I think with the amount of memory we gave him, like that turn, regardless if we had a little bit extra memory, I wouldn't be able to kill him. And I would have had to be able to put him into at least like 3 or 4 to be able to kill the Mervamon. So we are just going to swing Dog into security here and then drawing off the Demimera and then discarding a Skull Greymon. Another crazy throwback, which that card is actually really sick with Mervamon because it basically allows you to give anything you want Rush by discarding it, because Mervamon gives anything with Rush, anything with Retaliation or block, Cross Heart, Rush, and Blocker. So you can basically choose what you want with a Skull Greymon and stick it under and it gets rushed. So we do see the Ignitemon there that our opponent didn't have the last turn. So again, he could have stuck it under, just forgot. So Mervamon's going to come down. Everything has Rush except for the Eismon, and the Vilemon was already in play beforehand. So we're just going to do that and then swing Vilemon and then lose 2 memory, obviously. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed that gameplay. Mervamon, really, really cool deck. And shout out to Austin for letting us feature it on the channel. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.